if LeBron wins back-to-back titles and captures a sixth NBA championship, tying Michael Jordan with 6 titles, it would officially allow LeBron James to be considered the GOAT.
For me, it's different when you speak of who's the GOAT. You know what I mean? Michael Jordan was everything to me. He's the reason I play basketball. The world wouldn't know Allen Iverson if it wasn't for Michael Jordan. He's the reason I played basketball. Like, I literally, wanted to be like Mike. You know what I mean? So it's different for me. You know what I mean? I'm biased in that sense because I love him so much.
Allen Iverson just dropped a serious reality check into the never-ending Michael Jordan versus LeBron James GOAT debate. And his take hits different because there was no reason for him to tear LeBron down. In fact, Iverson has openly shown LeBron love, sees him like a little brother, has a relationship with his family, and wants to see him win. But when the conversation came down to one question, who is the greatest basketball player of all time, Allen Iverson didn't hesitate.
I'm definitely not going to, wish that he doesn't win 2 more, obviously, because that's the way I'm drawing it up in my dreams. That's the way I want it to be. That's the way I want him to go out if he decides to go out. But for me, it's different when you speak of who's the GOAT. You know what I mean? Michael Jordan was everything to me. He's the reason I play basketball.
So, do you agree with Iverson that Michael Jordan will always be the GOAT regardless of how many championships LeBron James wins? Or can LeBron still do enough to pass Jordan? Drop Jordan or LeBron in the comments and tell us exactly why.
Charles Barkley was on the show about an hour ago, AI, and he said that if LeBron James, who's agreed to a 2-year deal, player option after 1 year, wins back-to-back titles and captures a 6th NBA championship, tying Michael Jordan with 6 titles, it would officially allow LeBron James to be considered the GOAT, the greatest of all time. Where do you stand on that?
I'm definitely not going to, wish that he doesn't win 2 more, obviously, because that's the way I'm drawing it up in my dreams. That's the way I want it to be. That's the way I want him to go out if he decides to go out. But for me, it's different when you speak of who's the GOAT. You know what I mean? Michael Jordan was everything to me. He's the reason I play basketball. The world wouldn't know Allen Iverson.
Charles Barkley's argument sounds pretty straightforward. If LeBron James somehow wins 2 more championships and reaches 6 total, matching Michael Jordan's 6 titles, then one of the biggest gaps people constantly point to in this debate suddenly gets a whole lot smaller. And LeBron already has a wild case when it comes to longevity. He owns the NBA's all-time scoring record and has stacked up an unbelievable career across more than 2 decades. He's piled up points, assists, rebounds, playoff appearances, and countless milestones. If he somehow adds 2 more championships to that resume, his side of the GOAT debate gets even tougher to dismiss. But Iverson isn't trying to judge this debate like it's some simple checklist. And that's where his take gets really interesting.
If he's healthy, there's no one better in the business. You know what I mean? You put all that together, man, and, you add Nick Nurse into the fold, with his championship pedigree, man, and, the guys that we, implement into the system, man. I just think the sky's the limit. And then, the support from the fans, I just know that they're going to be eager to get things started, man, and you know what I mean? This thing is going to be big, and I just, can't wait to just be a part of it, man, and, show up and show out like I always do. You know what I mean? I'm the biggest Sixers fan in the world, so I'm just ready, man, and I know that, the Sixers Nation, they ready to go.
For AI, you can't just line up the trophies, numbers, records, and awards and expect the answer to magically appear. When Iverson was asked whether reaching 6 championships would officially make LeBron the GOAT, he made it clear that he couldn't personally see it that way. But before anyone twists that into AI disrespecting LeBron, his reasoning matters. Michael Jordan wasn't just another superstar to Allen Iverson. Jordan was a major reason Iverson wanted to become a basketball player in the first place. Iverson has explained how much Jordan meant to him and how his own basketball story might have looked completely different without Jordan's influence. He wanted to be like Mike, That's not a stat. That's not something you can settle by comparing championship rings. That's personal history, inspiration, and the kind of impact numbers can't fully measure.
You know, you do have Shea Butter in Oklahoma City. You do have Wemby in San Antonio. Are you sure you're willing to say championship or bust with those kind of cats standing in the way, Allen Iverson?
Yeah, I'm definitely speaking with my heart. You know what I mean? I'm speaking basketball too. You know what I mean? I'm a basketball savant, but I'm speaking with my heart as well. You know what I mean? I'm a Sixer until I die. You know what I mean? I'm not taking nothing away from those guys. I know what they are. You know what I mean? The Knicks, well deserved, man. I think that city deserves it. Loyal fans for decades.
And that's exactly why this GOAT debate gets so heated. Basketball greatness isn't only about what somebody puts on a stat sheet. The biggest legends become larger than the game because of what they represent to millions of people. Jordan wasn't simply dominating opponents. He became one of basketball's biggest global symbols. His sneakers became a worldwide phenomenon. His image stretched far beyond the NBA, while his championships, finals performances, scoring titles, MVPs, defensive reputation, clutch moments, and cultural impact created a legacy that was incredibly difficult to copy. Iverson grew up watching all of that happen in real time. He watched Jordan become the standard, then eventually entered the NBA and built his own completely different version of greatness. That's why Iverson's opinion carries an extra layer here. And he's definitely not saying LeBron isn't great. It's almost the exact opposite. Iverson gave LeBron a massive compliment when he said, "If you look up the definition of basketball player in the dictionary, you would see LeBron James." That's some serious respect. Think about how big that statement really is. Iverson is basically saying LeBron represents the complete modern basketball player. Size, athleticism, passing, scoring, rebounding, playmaking, durability, basketball, IQ, versatility, and ridiculous longevity. Very few players in NBA history have ever checked that many boxes at once. But here's the twist. Iverson still separates being the most complete basketball player from being his GOAT. And that's the wall LeBron keeps running into whenever this debate comes up. Nobody seriously needs to argue whether LeBron belongs among the greatest players ever. His career already speaks for itself. The real smoke starts when the question becomes whether everything LeBron has accomplished is enough to move Michael Jordan out of that #1 spot. For Iverson, the answer is still no. But this is exactly where LeBron supporters can push back hard. If Jordan's 6 championships are constantly treated as one of the strongest pieces of his GOAT case, what happens if LeBron somehow gets to 6 too? Matching that number wouldn't automatically settle the debate, but it would take one of Jordan's most famous advantages and put it under a whole new level of pressure. Jordan finished his Bulls career with 6 championships and 6 finals appearances. LeBron currently has 4 championships and has reached the finals more times, which gives his supporters plenty of ammo. They'll argue LeBron dragged some teams further than expected, battled through different eras of NBA talent, and somehow stayed elite for a ridiculously long time. And that's their main point. Longevity shouldn't be brushed aside like it means nothing. Staying dominant year after year, surviving different styles of basketball, and continuing to produce deep into your career is part of greatness. But Jordan supporters look at that same debate from a completely different angle. They see 6 championships, 6 finals wins, 6 finals MVP, 5 regular season MVPs, 10 scoring titles, 9 all-defensive first-team selections, a Defensive Player of the Year award, and that famous 6-0 record in the NBA Finals. To them, Jordan wasn't just collecting stats. He showed up when the lights were brightest. He reached basketball's biggest stage 6 times with Chicago and walked away with the championship every single time. Jordan didn't simply reach the mountaintop. He became the measuring stick for what NBA dominance was supposed to look like. And that's why Barkley's hypothetical gets messy fast. Imagine LeBron actually winning 2 more championships. Imagine him reaching 6 rings. Now the headline writes itself. LeBron James has the same number of championships as Michael Jordan. But does 6 automatically make LeBron the GOAT? Allen Iverson says no, and that's the key part people can easily miss. Matching one legendary number doesn't magically wipe away every other part of the conversation. Because if championships alone decided the GOAT debate, basketball history would look completely different. Context matters, the era matters, competition matters, individual dominance matters, peak performance matters, longevity matters, leadership matters, and cultural impact definitely matters. Most of all, people remember what happened when everything was on the line. That's also why Iverson's comments about the possibility of LeBron playing in Philadelphia add another spicy layer to this conversation. AI is one of Philadelphia basketball's biggest icons, and he's made his loyalty to the Sixers crystal clear. So when people wonder whether Iverson would ever criticize LeBron, it's not that simple. AI clearly has love for LeBron, but he also rides hard for Philadelphia. If LeBron were wearing a Sixers jersey, Iverson would obviously want the team winning. He wouldn't be sitting around hoping LeBron crashes and burns. But rooting for LeBron doesn't mean Iverson suddenly has to put him above Jordan. That's what makes AI's position pretty easy to understand. You can respect LeBron, support him, appreciate everything he's accomplished, and still believe Michael Jordan is number one. Those opinions don't cancel each other out. And the Philadelphia scenario creates an even bigger pressure cooker. If LeBron were viewed as the GOAT and joined a loaded Sixers roster but didn't win a championship, you already know the basketball world would go crazy. Every debate show, podcast, comment section, and social media timeline would have something to say. That's the price of entering GOAT territory. LeBron has spent his career putting together one of the most stacked resumes basketball has ever seen. But once somebody gets called the greatest of all time, expectations go through the roof. Every season gets judged through a championship lens. Every playoff exit gets picked apart. Every rough performance gets replayed again and again. That's why championship or bust carries so much weight. Iverson himself admitted he was speaking from the heart with that prediction. He recognized that teams like the Knicks, Oklahoma City, San Antonio, and other contenders could stand in Philadelphia's way. He wasn't acting like winning a title would be some easy walk through the playoffs. He's backing his team and treating every season like the goal should be a championship. But once the GOAT label gets thrown into the mix, the pressure becomes even crazier. If fans are being asked to put somebody above every basketball legend who came before him, then naturally, they're going to judge that player against an almost impossible standard. And that's where criticism around LeBron can get especially intense. His supporters can fairly point toward his age, career mileage, and incredible longevity. Those factors absolutely belong in the discussion. Critics, however, will argue that if LeBron is still being presented as the GOAT, his performances are naturally going to be measured against GOAT-level expectations. That's where Jordan continues to hold a powerful edge for people like Iverson. Jordan's peak was so dominant that his Bulls career almost reads like somebody wrote the script beforehand. He entered the league as an instant superstar, became the face of the NBA, developed into an elite defender, broke through in the Eastern Conference, and then went on a championship rampage. He won 3 straight titles, stepped away, returned, then won 3 straight championships again. 6 championships and 6 finals MVPs became the centerpiece of a legacy that still hangs over every GOAT conversation. Jordan later returned to play for Washington, but those final seasons didn't change what his Chicago run represented. For an entire generation, including Allen Iverson, Jordan had already become the standard of basketball greatness. And that's the shadow LeBron isn't just competing against on a stat sheet. He's competing against the memory, influence, and almost mythical reputation Jordan built around his peak. LeBron's career tells a completely different story from Jordan's. And that's exactly what makes this debate so crazy. His greatness has been built on insane longevity, constant adaptation, and staying elite across multiple generations of NBA basketball. That's a historic achievement by itself, but because their careers unfolded so differently, comparing Jordan and LeBron isn't as simple as counting rings and calling it a day. And Iverson made one point that deserves way more attention. He warned against tearing down one legend just to make another look better. You don't need to disrespect Jordan to praise LeBron, and you don't need to disrespect LeBron to defend Jordan. Both can be basketball giants without pretending the other one's accomplishments don't matter. But social media doesn't exactly play by those rules. Every stat becomes ammo. Every championship starts another argument. Supporters bring up 6 rings and finals performances. LeBron supporters fire back with longevity, total production, versatility, and playoff runs. Then somebody drops another stat, another clip goes viral, and suddenly, everybody is right back in the same debate. Iverson's perspective cuts through some of that noise. For him, Jordan's place isn't based purely on numbers sitting on a spreadsheet. It's about what Jordan represented and the influence he had on an entire generation of players. When a legend like Allen Iverson says Jordan inspired him to pick up a basketball, that's not something you can measure with points, rebounds, or trophies. Does that mean LeBron can never pass Jordan in anybody's eyes? Of course not. Fans judge greatness differently. If you value longevity, total production, versatility, and maintaining an elite level for an unbelievable amount of time, there's a real argument for LeBron. If you value peak dominance, championships, finals performances, defense, scoring titles, and cultural influence, there's a powerful argument for Jordan. There's no secret GOAT calculator that spits out one official answer, but if you're asking Allen Iverson, there's zero mystery about his choice. Michael Jordan is his GOAT. And here's what makes AI's position even more interesting. He's not saying LeBron isn't phenomenal. He's basically saying LeBron can become one of the greatest and most complete players basketball has ever witnessed, without replacing the man who personally inspired Iverson to play the game. That's why this debate refuses to die. LeBron could potentially win another championship, maybe even 2. He could theoretically reach Jordan's 6, add more milestones to an already ridiculous resume, and keep playing at an age when most NBA stars have been retired for years. Millions of fans could look at all of that and say, "That's my GOAT," and millions of others could still point straight at Michael Jordan. Iverson has made it pretty clear where he stands, but here's the twist. His position doesn't really take anything away from LeBron. If anything, it shows just how massive the mountain is. If LeBron somehow accomplished enough to make longtime Jordan supporters rethink a belief they've held for decades, that would be an incredible achievement. He wouldn't simply be competing with another superstar's resume. He'd be challenging the basketball icon who defined greatness for an entire generation. But right now, AI isn't budging. Jordan is his GOAT. LeBron can keep stacking points, seasons, playoff appearances, records, and maybe even more championships. He can keep rewriting NBA history in ways nobody expected to see. Still, Iverson's standard isn't built around one magic number. It's about Jordan's complete impact, what he accomplished, how he played, what he represented, and how deeply he influenced Iverson and basketball culture. And that's why this argument isn't disappearing anytime soon. Maybe the real question isn't whether LeBron is great enough to belong in the GOAT conversation. Clearly he is. The tougher question is whether anything LeBron accomplishes can change how people like Iverson view what Michael Jordan already became. Iverson's answer is no. And if LeBron somehow reached 6 championships, this debate probably wouldn't calm down. It could get even louder. At that point, people couldn't just scream about ring counts anymore. It would become peak versus longevity, dominance versus durability, Jordan's 6-0 finals record versus LeBron's sustained excellence across different eras, cultural influence versus total statistical production. And underneath all of it sits one question nobody has ever managed to settle. What does greatest actually mean? For Allen Iverson, that answer is still Michael Jordan. But now it's your turn. Who's your GOAT, Jordan or LeBron? Drop your pick in the comments and tell us why. If you enjoyed the video, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, share this with another basketball fan, and turn on notifications so you don't miss what's coming next. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you on the next one.